Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Respawning Podcast 2.0, because we're doing it again. Anyone who is still following on the podcast side of things, if you've ignored our website and you've ignored our YouTube and you just listened to the Respawning Podcast and the PS Pod, then you would have thought that we just vanished off the face of the earth, because we basically did when it comes to podcasts. But we're relaunching again, like our 7th or 8th relaunch. We're really not sure. But this time we're going to try to stick to it. There's going to be no offshoots. There's only going to be the main Respawning pod. As you know, it was me and Hal who did the PS pod. Luke, you would jump on the main Respawning pod when you could. Unfortunately, the other guys who did the Respawning podcast fucked off. So
and you swore first.
And I swore first. Yeah. So yeah, it's just us, and we're not going to bother doing the PS pod anymore. We're just going to do the Respawning podcast, and it's going to cover everything: PlayStation, Xbox, because they're relevant again, and Switch, and PC probably not, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, everything but PC.
Yeah, we might have a PC special guest every now and then.
Yeah, maybe.
Bill Gates.
Maybe.
I was thinking Lance, because he loves PC and he wants
What
the podcast. I was like, Bill Gates.
Has completely overestimated our funds.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say, if you're still listening to just the podcast, you are a hardcore fan, so thanks.
Yeah, if you were just listening to the podcast, and yeah, we definitely died. But we have been continuing. We've been on YouTube, and of course the website respawn.co.uk. Go check that out as usual. But as for now, we are back with the podcast, and it's a bit of a shame that it's been a quiet few weeks and nothing to talk about, isn't it? Really, like I can't think of a
yeah. It's been so quiet on the the whole kind of console front, hasn't it?
I remember a month ago I was going, 2020 is crap compared to 2019. There's nothing coming out, and you guys were like, next gen. I was like, oh yeah, got a whole new generation of consoles hitting the shelves.
So let's talk about next gen gaming. Of course, the PS5's been announced in all its glory, price, release date, a lot. Xbox Series X and S and whatever other letter they want to throw on the end of it, all been announced. And then Xbox went and shocked everyone by buying Bethesda. So we've got a lot to talk about. Let's start by talking about which console we're going to go for. We're going to go for PS5, Xbox, or both. Luke, you start us off, mate.
I'm getting both because I'm straight up buying the PS5 as like my main console. I'm getting the big fat boy because I've got loads of PS4 discs that I want to play on it. And my gut feeling is if I save £100 by getting the digital one, in a year's time, PlayStation make that £100 back by shafting me on digital releases, which I could buy off of eBay for half the price, which I do. Admittedly, I game share with Hav anyway, so I still only pay half price. But
no, you don't. Don't give away the secrets.
Not anymore.
That's legal.
It's legal. It's legal.
But I'm also going to get the Series S because I can't not get Game Pass because it's an absolute steal. And I think,
and of course, you've had Game Pass for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've been paying for Game Pass and EA Play for a good year now, and it gets its money worth every month. Like especially because all the Devolver Digital games alone go for free on Game Pass, and Devolver are worth all their games are worthwhile. So ultimately, though, to upgrade to getting a Series S, it's going to cost me like £3 extra a month because I'll just move EA Play and Game Pass around. So the console just costs me nothing.
I can't argue with that really. Which one are you going for, if any at all?
I'm not going to be getting any on release. That's simply down to money. But as soon as I can afford it, which hopefully I'm looking at January sales, will be PlayStation 5. And then I never thought I'd say this, but I'm going to have to get an Xbox at some point because of Bethesda. And unless it's a timed exclusive thing, obviously we don't know the whole shebang yet. And they are saying it's going to be a case by case analysis, aren't they? It's going to be a release by release kind of thing.
And they're working like semi-independently was the thing I saw today.
But I would say, like, and I've spoken about this before, Oblivion was the game that got me into like proper gaming. You know, like when I got I felt like I really started to enjoy big, long, open world games, and that's all the games I enjoy now. And that was all thanks to Oblivion at the time, and it's still one of my favorite games of all time. And then obviously Skyrim, all the Fallout series alone. That's not even talking about Dishonored and
Doom
and all those other stuff.
Wolfenstein.
All those games,
Evil Within.
like they are.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Evil Within.
Yeah.
That's been my favorite game.
They are my favorite developer. I think I would, one of my favorite developers. Apart, yes, they haven't had a good year or so, but they are still. But I mean, it's going to be a long time to get an Xbox, so it's going to be PlayStation 5 for a bit, but definitely PlayStation 5.
So the big chunky PS5, and which Xbox though? The Series S or the X? You don't know the difference. You've not been paying attention, have you? Have?
Yeah, the cheap one, which is like what, 20 quid a month Game Pass thing.
Yeah.
Because it would be then again, I would want good graphics for Elder Scrolls 6, wouldn't I? I'll see what money's like next Christmas.
Even when Elder Scrolls never comes out with great graphics, like even when Skyrim originally came out, one of the points that it lost on reviews was because of the graphics.
Yeah. Everyone looks like.
Yeah.
To me, Bethesda games have never been the game of the year where you look at it and think, for visuals, Bethesda blow everyone out the water. They're not. No. It's more big open world. How much can we cram in than it is,
an enjoyable gameplay.
It's the stories, isn't it, over like the graphics?
Yeah. But yeah, for me, I'm pretty much mirroring Luke. I'm getting the PS5 on launch, pre-ordered and all that. Finally got my confirmation email through. Thanks, Currys. Took about 2 days of just absolute fear. It was like, am I going to get one? Am I not? So I finally got my confirmation email through yesterday. So I'll be getting a PS5 on launch. I will be getting an Xbox, even though I'm not as into Bethesda games as you guys are. But I see it as a statement of intent. This isn't going to be just, we got Bethesda, that's it, sit back, cool, we'll just release Elder Scrolls games and Fallout games and we'll compete that way. Now, we're going to see more of this, I reckon. Maybe not to this level, but I mean, they've quietly been doing this anyway. Like, they've already hoovered up like Ninja Theory,
Yeah.
So I'm going to want an Xbox to play Hellblade. So there's that, and Ninja Theory released great games anyway, so I'm going to probably want another IP that hasn't even been announced yet. And yeah, I'm sure Xbox Studios over time will just have great games now. But I'm convinced of it. And that's so weird to say because a week ago I would never have said that. No, just because they bought Bethesda, it's like, oh shit, they're competing. They're and this is the thing. Microsoft have more money to throw around than Sony do if they really, really want to go to war with them. So
yeah, that's it. Like Bethesda cost them big money, and they're going to want to redeem that money as quickly as possible. And I feel like the only way to do that is to make people buy your console. Because let's face it, like Microsoft are the kings of hardware. Like when it comes down to it, they know how to make everything really cheap. When all the rumors were abound, Sony were like, this console's not cheap for us to make. But Microsoft were like, yeah, we've made a really cheap version, so you can have it for like 250 quid.
But did you see when is it Jim Ryan, the PlayStation guy, Mr. Two First Names, and he was saying, like they said, are you going to do something similar to Game Pass? He's like, no, we spend thousands, if not millions of pounds developing these games. We can't afford to chuck them on a service. It's like, but how can Xbox?
They've lied to us before. No, they've lied to us before, right? Because they were going on about PlayStation, we believe in generations and all this. That was basically their tagline, something similar to that when they started launching the PS5. And now all of a sudden it's Spider-Man, Horizon, and all this are all coming out on PS4. It's like, hold on, what happened to believing in generations? I'm not complaining about it. I think it's a good idea to bring them out on PS4, but I think when they say, "Oh, we'll never do a Games Pass-like service," it's like, yeah, right.
They're already throwing money at PS Now, whilst it isn't like their first-party releases straight away. They are putting the first-party releases on there a year after.
And if they had no interest in competing in that market, they wouldn't have PS Now at all. So the fact that it's there shows that he's lying straight up, and they are interested. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? But yeah, going back to what I was saying, PS5 on launch day. And I'll probably be the same as you guys. I'll get the cheaper one, the Series S, unless I see a few, because it'll be a while. I won't be getting the Series S straight away. I won't be getting on launch. I'm probably going to wait an entire year, see what the landscape's like, see what the launch, or see what the library's like come then. Yeah. And then if there's just sort of games I'm interested in, but not like, dying to get my hands on, I'll just get the Series S for like £20 a month or whatever. However, if there are games I think look stunning, like if Hellblade is more of a full-blown AAA experience rather than the half AAA, half indie thing it was before, then all of a sudden I might start thinking, you know what? Oh, I kind of want that in its full power and its full glory on an X. I can see myself going that way, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. So, so the big question, I think, regarding the Bethesda deal, do we think these games are going to be full-blown exclusives? Or are they going to be timed exclusives? Are they going to be, because I've even heard some people say, oh, we'll get them on PlayStation and Xbox on the same day. It's just want to be on Game Pass, so that'll be your cheaper option. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's the case, but I've heard people say that.
I think the money, the 7 billion or whatever, or 7.5 billion, says they're going to be full-blown exclusives. That's a lot of money to pay if you're not going to get them exclusively exclusive.
I think they'll want to recover that money as quickly as possible. And I think that the way to do that is going to be through selling the hardware. And they know that Bethesda games will be a system seller. You bring out Fallout 5 and it's exclusive, people will buy the Xbox in droves. Same with Elder Scrolls 6. And if you put the next Doom as an exclusive, but what I think they'll do is they're going to have one big game that's not Elder Scrolls or Fallout, and they're going to trial that to see what that's like as an exclusive, and then they're going to test the water to see how they kind of do it, because ultimately if they do sell it on the PlayStation as well, they're still going to make money off of it because they
exactly
but
that's what I was going to say.
Want to sell the hardware because they can manufacture that in China for cheap, because that's how they manufacture all their PC bits.
Because Microsoft, surely I was thinking that install base of PlayStation owners is going to be so huge, and they're £75, $70, or however much it's going to be now for a game on next gen. They're going to want a piece of that, surely. But I just think it's the way they'll do it is they'll just make PlayStation owners sweat. So they'll, like you say, they'll announce the big game, whether it be Fallout, Elder Scrolls, whatever it is, and it'll be coming to Game Pass, and that's all they'll say. They won't even touch on if it will come to PlayStation. And then they'll say, oh, I'm coming to PC too. Yeah. And then once it's been out for like 6 months, they'll be like, yeah, in a year's time, you can expect to see this turn up on PlayStation. Yeah. You know what I mean? By the time it comes, I think eventually they'll all come to PlayStation. But by the time they do, the buzz around them will be so low, or just get to the point where anyone who really wants to play those games would have played them already. And they'll just then, wow, we might as well make a little bit of extra money and stick them on PlayStation.
I totally agree.
I think that's the way it'll go. Kind of like Mass Effect, I think
they've
PlayStation, but
with the Series S though, I think that they've been quite clever about it, because they knew the pre-orders for those consoles were there, and they knew that people that were Xbox fanboys were going to buy the big, bulky, beautiful cube door stopper thing that they've got. But what they've done with the Series S is they've targeted that second console market. They know that that's there for people who are going to buy a PlayStation, and then they look at thinking, oh, you know what, I might get the Xbox just for this. Oh, cool, that one's only 250 quid. They've targeted that market very specifically and jumped on it, because they know that all three of us in here are going to be PlayStation fanboys. But their big move is them going, yeah, but now you can afford a second console. You can afford our console as your second console to play all these.
Yeah, you can get both. Yeah, no, that's definitely the case. Yeah. I mean, when they announced the Series S at that price, at like 250 quid, my instant thought was, oh, fuck, I'm going to get one at that price.
Yeah.
I didn't even stop to think, actually, there's no games on it I want to play yet. It's just because it's that cheap. I just went, I can get that, and it's worked from that point of view. So
it's that thing of like, oh, I want all this. I want to keep collecting all these things and I'll have them. But it's like,
I want all the consoles.
I still don't have a lot of time for both the PS4 and the Switch. Like the Switch is the console I play in bed or in the garden.
Your secondary console right now.
I don't, like you said, Mike, when I got it, I don't really play it docked.
Told you.
So like realistically, and with hopefully I'm going to get married early next year if everything goes to plan, and then everything else happens in life. Am I realistically going to have a time for a third console? Like probably not, but I'll probably but I can't miss out Elder Scrolls.
Exactly. Are you going to make time to play an Elder Scrolls game?
I do think if they say on release date you will get this on PlayStation in 6 months to a year, I'd be happy to wait, because honestly, the more time I'm given to play the games in my backlog, I'm actually happy about. Like when Luke pointed out that like Elden Ring won't be out for another 2-3 years, I was actually excited because it means like a complete Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro and Neo.
And Demon Souls.
To play, and Demon Souls. I have all the time to play all these massive games beforehand. So I don't know if I'd genuinely be gutted anymore if I had to wait. Apart from talking about it here for respawning stuff, I wouldn't be too gutted to have extra time to play my backlog.
I see what you're saying, but the fact that you're even saying that to me says they ain't gonna tell you shit on the day of release,
because they'll sacrifice that sale.
Yeah, they don't want you knowing in the back of your head that you can get it in a year's time when it's on the side of buses, when it's on every TV advert. They don't want you thinking, well, I'll just wait.
Flashes in my eyes.
Yeah, they want you to think, what if it never comes to PlayStation, but I could get it right now on Game Pass for this cheap price. That's what they want, and that's what they'll do.
We're talking about how hyped we are for Elder Scrolls 6, and so far we've seen the title.
Yeah, not even like a teaser, is there?
No,
like,
we've
really?
seen. Well, we haven't even seen the title. We've seen Elder Scrolls 6 is in development. That's all we know, and we're so hype about it, and the fact that Microsoft are potentially going to have that game as an exclusive. From seeing nothing about it, it's going to sell the console. And at the end of the day, the way 100%. I look at it is, if I can spend 250 quid and I play 1 or 2 games on it a year, but it focuses on like my main TV as like the media center, so my daughter can watch, I don't know, fucking Peppa Pig and shit like that. And then Sally's watching like Grey's Anatomy and whatever she watches on it. I think that's 250 quid that I've is well spent. To buy myself a 4K media center is going to cost me a lot more than 250 quid.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you just can't argue with that price. Is what it comes down to.
No.
I just want to ask one question because I do want to talk about the pre-order disaster and then what games we're most looking forward to before we shoot out of here. But I want to ask, if these games come to PlayStation, do they flash Microsoft Studios at the front of every game as you launch it up on your PlayStation?
100%.
Will you see in that logo?
And you feel dirty.
The Xbox logo coming up on your PlayStation. That would be such a big fuck you to Sony,
they'll definitely do it, because when the Xbox One, I think it was, first started using Blu-rays, Sony bought the Blu-ray companies, didn't they? Like the manufacturer of Blu-rays.
Yeah.
So every time an Xbox game was sold, Sony got a bit of the money because they were manufacturing Blu-rays and stuff like that. And they banged on about that. So Microsoft's going to get the little rib punch in to kind of like settle that score.
Yeah.
Do you think, at the moment, the figures for PlayStation sales are so much higher, and it always has been. Do you think this will change that to that extent, or do you think PlayStation's figures will still be much higher?
I don't think they'll be that much higher looking at pre-orders. And this transitions well into the pre-order mess, because we talk about that now. Both PS5 and Xbox Series X had disastrous pre-orders purely because there were so many people trying to get on. I genuinely thought, before the Bethesda announcement, that there's no way that they'll have the same issues with Xbox as they did PlayStation with these pre-orders. They'll run smooth. There'll probably still be some available a few hours after launch. Nope. As Luke found out, everything crashed and it was a disaster, just like PlayStation.
Smith's Toy Stores and Game both went down for about 7 hours, and they were officially in the UK the only 2 places that you could get the all access deal. So they kind of like absolutely shafted them. And I think it was more hilarious because they were taking jabs at Sony about their pre-order chaos.
and then it was just as bad.
Then their main offering went to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was similar with PlayStation, because you didn't know which stores had what. So like Game, for example, they had like bundles with headphones in, with extra controllers in and all this. And then like AO would have the digital one where no one else had the digital PS5.
Yeah.
And then like some places wanted full price up front, some places wanted just £5 deposit. And it was just pot luck. You didn't know what you were getting going in for. Like I said, I pre-ordered mine with Curry's. Other retailers are out there. And I didn't have a clue what the pre-order options were until I got through the queue. The queue system itself took me the better part of 3 or 4 hours of just being in it all day, just keeping an eye on it. And then I'd get to the end of the queue, get an error message, go back to the beginning of the queue again. It took forever. By the time I actually got there, I had no idea what was going to be waiting for me on that webpage. I didn't know how many choice, if it'd be bundles, at the end of the day, it just ended up being put your name down for a PS5 and we'll contact you. That's all it was at the end. And and pay us a £5 to hold it. So paid them a £5 to hold it. Then 2 days later, they're like, yeah, you got one. Well done. And that was that. I didn't get a choice if I got a digital one or a disc one, as it happens, it's a disc one, but I want to know,
Yeah,
Really?
right.
So I think the whole thing's just been a bit of a mess. It's been all over the place.
I
both sides.
obviously had a lot of issues trying to order the Xbox to a point where it's made me, I'm going to wait 6 months before I buy one now. But they would have had me on day one if the orders went through smoothly. But on the flip side of that, I ordered, I'd signed up weeks ago for Amazon to remind me exactly when the pre-orders go live. And I've got the Amazon Platinum credit card. So I get VIP access to their website. So I got an email 1 minute past the deadline. I ordered my PlayStation 5 and then I left. And it took me about 3 minutes.
I hate you.
And I got loads of my Amazon cards. So they've on top of that, because I pre-ordered it with them using my Amazon credit card, they've given me 30 quid's worth of Amazon vouchers.
Half a game.
Yeah.
Suck. Fair play, mate.
I don't understand how they didn't see this coming. Especially everyone was looking for something to look forward to and do. And then, and we're getting more and more technological. More and more people are sat at home doing fuck all. And obviously it was going to happen. Everyone was going to run out and try and get one. Everyone who wanted one, who could still afford one, was just going to jump straight on their website and get one. I just don't. I know it's probably that they just couldn't.
No, you're right.
Couldn't ever build a website to take it, but it seems mad.
My main issue was on the Sony side of things, because that's sort of where I was concentrating, was just how much of a free-for-all it was. You, at least with Xbox, even though everything crashed and, went tits up, at least you knew every shop will be this time on this day. With PlayStation, it was they did the whole showcase event, which is brilliant, but then they didn't announce when pre-orders were going on sale. Next thing you know, you hear from America, Walmart will put theirs on sale. And then Game announce, ours will be on sale at 8 in the morning. But then people are a quarter to 12, I've already got mine though. And everyone's like, what? Everyone heads over to Game. Theirs are going at quarter to 12. And then next morning, Curry's go live at 9, Amazon go live at 9, Argus say it's Friday, and everyone asking, at one point people are asking Argus on Twitter, what time on Friday? And they couldn't give an answer. They were like, could be midnight, could be the next morning, we don't know. And then it ended up being 4 a.m. I remember waking up on Friday morning and my Twitter feed just being full of people what?
Christ.
Argus has been and gone. It was just a random time in the morning. And I just think it was the retailers had no idea this was coming. I think Sony were just okay, bang, off you go. And they just weren't prepared. So that's on Sony as far as I'm concerned.
Do you think there'll be more available before Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already been confirmed, hasn't it, on
100%.
both, that they said that they'll be delivering a lot more stock, because I just don't think that Sony or Microsoft appreciated. I don't think either of them appreciated how many more people have gone into gaming again over lockdown. It's fucking else to do. And even it's lame, but even fitness podcasters that I listen to, they're talking about that they've gotten really into gaming, and they see that outside of work and fitness, it's just a nice few hours where they can kind of literally, they're off their phone, they're turning their brain off. And that influences a lot of other people that are in that side of things. That's a whole new market that kind of jumps into it. And then obviously Fortnite brought in billions of children.
Loads. I know loads of people, have friends who don't game and are now, my brother-in-law, he's just got Tony Hawk's, and he said he hasn't turned his PlayStation on in months. He's thought, I just might as well. That's just one example out of loads that for people who've just picked up a game again, or turned on their console, or bought a cheap one because it's something to do.
So I would argue they should have sort of saw this coming, because in the middle of lockdown, you tried buying a Nintendo Switch, main one, old ones on eBay, whatever. It was impossible. And I remember sort of reading about it and not really thinking much of it. And then I was talking to a few of the wife's friends, and they were saying they all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all wanted Switches so they could play Animal Crossing during lockdown. All of them. And all of Jay's friends want Switches all of a sudden. And I'm like, I should be able to get those. I'm like, why are they having a problem? Have a look online. No, it's literally impossible to get a Switch from anywhere. And so, the signs were there that because of all of this, people are bored and wanting to play more video games. So it is a bit on Microsoft and Sony.
parents were buying Switches in the leagues as well throughout lockdown, because at the end of the day, if your
Keeps kids quiet.
9-year-old kid was on Fortnite in the handheld, they weren't on Fortnite on the TV, so you could just watch whatever you wanted to watch, play whatever you wanted to do, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Right, so we've talked about all the boring hardware stuff. What games are we looking forward to the most then?
Demon's Souls.
Next. Spider-Man for me, even though it's going to be short.
I know.
I think obviously Spider-Man, like, what surprised me is, I think I said to you guys, out of the whole PS5 event, the one I kept thinking about was Harry Potter. I think it's because it's the one, it was rumoured, wasn't it, a while ago? And also, I've just always wanted a really good Harry Potter game, and this looks like it's going to be that.
I can't believe how much they've shown.
Yeah.
I can't believe the state it's in.
Which makes you think it's
we've had nothing,
far
and then
away.
it's like all of this. Yeah,
Well,
I don't think it is.
It said early 2021, didn't it?
But ignoring the Bethesda thing, I think it's really interesting how Sony are working towards getting all the big franchises on board. Like even Avengers, they've got the exclusive Spider-Man, but they've got the actual main Spider-Man game. You know, they've got Harry Potter. It's like they're kind of going after
Is Harry Potter an exclusive?
I assumed it would be because it was shown at that event.
I don't think it is. 'Cause it's Warner Brothers, isn't it?
Oh.
So I think it'll be third party.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. I've done no research. I'm just the same way that like Call of Duty was shown at the PS5 showcase. I think they just probably paid a little bit of money to be the ones who show it off for the first time. But I'm guessing.
I played that Call of Duty Alpha. Sorry to jump in there, but I played the Alpha. They went in that event. One thing I really liked about the Call of Duty thing is they were like, "Oh, look at this cool new Call of Duty," and it did look really cool, Cold War. And then they were like, "By the way, the Alpha is free for everyone on PS4 tomorrow." And I was like, "You know what? I'm going to jump on that Alpha." And I played it all weekend, and I fucking loved it. It was good.
Yeah,
proper arcadey again. Like it feels like the original COD 4.
Oh, that's exciting.
I was about it.
But yeah, for me, it's Spider-Man. Like, I know it's only going to be a short game, but God, I love Spider-Man on the PS4 so much. And I think I'm going to get the Ultimate Edition so that I can play it again on the PS5. You know, just
do you know if the like remaster of, because I know the PS4 save file doesn't work on PS5. So does that mean a whole new set of trophies? Because if that's a whole new set of trophies, then I'm getting the Ultimate Edition.
just two platinums.
I will happily platinum that game again.
Same. Yeah, no, that'd be cool. You got me even more excited now. But that's as far as the games that we've seen. But as far as the games that are announced, for me, God of War, like Ragnarok. Yeah, I haven't seen nothing but the logo. So I'm not actually that hyped for it. I wasn't really as big into God of War as everyone else when it came out, but that's because I kept comparing it to Dark Souls. Like every combat move, every power. This is why I won't play Dark Souls.
I was like, it's good, but it's just not as good as Dark Souls.
Yeah, see, having not ever got obsessed with Dark Souls like you boys, I didn't have to worry about that. And to me, God of War was just a masterpiece. But
I replayed it recently.
Live in my little bubble.
I replayed it recently and did the platinum, and I'm back on it being like a 10 out of 10 game, to be fair.
Yes.
Just at the time.
I mean, even just for things like the story and the voice acting and stuff like that, I think just that alone makes it a top tier game. And the visuals and everything. I love it.
It gains an extra point just for having Troy Baker and Nolan North as Magni and Modi. Like Thor's two sons, and they're like, who could we get that would do really well as Thor's two sons? It's like Troy Baker and Nolan North. It's like, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, they'll always do it.
Yeah,
I am really hyped, but I don't feel like we haven't seen enough for it to be prominent in my mind. But I mean,
that's why I thought went with Spider-Man.
I love that game. Everyone knows I love Thor, so I'm obviously going to bum that game. By the way, has anyone got a remaining meeting time warning?
Yeah, we've got 6 minutes.
Well, yeah, I think we'll shoot. On that note, I think we'll end it there. Cheers, Hav. That was pretty much our last topic anyway. But,
I just want to drop in that Final Fantasy 16 is also exclusive to the PS4, so that
looks
for me.
That'll be a big one.
Good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm looking forward to it.
You take Final Fantasy by the best Final Fantasy story writer of all time, which is the story for 14. I know you guys don't really like the combat or the gameplay or the way it looks or anything about it.
Anything about it looks like this.
But the story is widely known as the best Final Fantasy story ever. Throw that in with the fucking guy who did Devil May Cry's combat. Like,
and then enhancing the 7 remake combat system.
Yeah.
I can't believe, by the way, that they opened that showcase and showed a Final Fantasy trailer, and I got excited. I was like, "Who am I?
I can't believe
Who
that.
am I?" And that's purely down to Final Fantasy VII just being so class.
I was
so
out of breath because they went like, they opened that thing, and they were like, "Right, here's a bit of Spider-Man, Demon Souls, Final Fantasy." I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Final Fantasy thing took me a while to realize what was going on because obviously not into it like you boys are, and then they had the Chocobos, and I was like, "Oh, Final Fantasy! Oh, this is cool." And then they had what's her face, Shiva, and I was like, "I knew her."
I've used that.
Yeah, and then they showed a bit of the combat, and I was like, "Oh, it's like
Yeah.
oh, I'm in." Yeah. So I'm hyped for that as well. Do we know when that's coming out?
2021.
God, 2021's going
So
to be good.
basically everything at the showcase was announced to be coming out 2021. Whether it does is another thing.
I'm saying now, God of War 2 is not coming out in 2021. No chance. That's been delayed.
I'm hoping that everyone's learned from all the delays of the past few years because they lose so much kudos. But
I know, but right. On that note, we will leave before our Zoom call kicks us out. So we wanted to leave. The Zoom ain't making decisions for us.
Yeah, we wanted to leave.
Yeah, that was the end of our run sheet anyway.
Yeah, actually was. So, as always, we ask you to check out the website, respawning.co.uk. We've got all the latest news and reviews and opinion pieces and just a lot of jolly old good fun that you should go check out. Also, our YouTube channel, just search Respawning UK. You will find our beautiful faces there. In fact, you could be watching our beautiful faces on that right now if everything's gone to plan and we haven't fucked this up. So, make sure you hit like and subscribe. And now, subscribe to our podcast again because we are back on those. Hopefully we stick to them. It should be a combination of us three. Sometimes it might only be two of us. Sometimes it'll be all three of us. Sometimes we'll have guests. But, you know, one of us three should be always on it. So Bill Gates is coming. Yeah.
My goal, I'm gonna get Sandy Toxvig on.
Look,
use your contacts.
You two are the PR guys. You make it happen, all right? I'm relying on you.
PR guys.
So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. However you consume.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Or hear you next time because it might be an audio format that you listen to.
That's true. You never know. Bye.
You'll hear us next time.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Thank you, dear viewers and/or listeners.
Bye.